Hey everyone, I'm Jasmine Haley. I am a professional speaker, speaker consultant, and I am a master curriculum designer for purpose driven organizations. So today we're diving deep into this question of is your speaking failing if you're not generating revenue? And this is a really important question to really consider along your speaking journey because I can't tell you how many people I've met and how many people I've coached along the way where we're refining their business strategy with their speaking. And they often say, well, I haven't really spoken anywhere. Or they often forget, like, when we start listing out the places they've been, they never really take credit for the amazing things that they've done because they feel that their success is linked with the amount of money that they've been able to generate with speaking. So, hey, y'all, I'm going to briefly walk you through this and spend about 10 minutes or so diving into this question. And I hope that if any of you feel that you are failing in your speaking because you haven't generated revenue, I hope that this discussion today helps you kind of shift the idea of where you should be. Now we're in a very hyper competitive market. It's easy for us to start feeling like the only way that we would be successful in speaking is if we're building revenue through it. And what happens is that we get overcome and inundated on social media, on different platforms with the glitz, the glamour, the big paychecks. You know, people are screenshotting those and they're sharing them all over the internet. And of course, we think that these are indicators of success. But let me ask each of you this. Do you think it's the full picture? And many of you, if you have been doing the inner work necessary to decipher and have discernment about what is true success for you, hopefully your answer would be no. We have to really think about speaking as an art and a craft. It's more than just the business side, it's also the side that happens in speaking, which is actually utilizing our voice. It is a skill, it's an art. So we're sharing our message, we're sharing our voice, we're sharing our expertise, we're connecting with others, we're looking at ways to make a genuine impact. And ultimately, we want to touch the hearts and help at least one person, set them free by sharing your story and your message. And for many of us, that makes us feel amazing, right? That should be a level of success that we should have. And we have to remember that revenue is just one small metric of that success. Now, I say small, it is still very important because I understand that we have bills to pay, right? We got bills to pay. So it's essential to think about monetization when it comes to speaking, but it isn't always the entire picture. Monetization is a journey, y'all. Some speakers are going to be striking gold immediately as soon as they start speaking because they've taken the time to increase their market value prior to actually speaking. Some of us, like myself, had to do a slow build to get to a place where I was monetizing it. And that's okay. Timing does not determine whether or not there's any value in the message that you share. Now, if revenue is a concern for you, I want you to really turn inward and think about these questions that I'm about to ask you. Are you targeting the right audience? Is your content in line with the needs of the client that you want to serve? Are you effective in communicating your value? We have to understand that having malalignment in your strategy does not mean that you're a failure as a speaker. Okay. It doesn't mean that you're failing and you'll never do well in speaking. You may just have a malalignment in the strategies that you're using to leverage speaking. I know some incredible speakers that I've met along the way. They have taken years, right, before they landed their first paid gig. And by during that time, as they were waiting for that, what do you think they were doing? The same ones that you love to hear right now. They were honing their crafts, they were building their networks, and they were remaining resilient. So they understood that speaking is not a marathon, it is something that they have to trust the process and continue to show up. They also understand that with any skill, you have to invest something, right? Not just monetary. You have to invest your time, you have to invest your efforts, you have to be continuously learning. And listen here, it will include some setbacks. I've dealt with setbacks. Every single speaker has dealt with setbacks. So you have to understand that when you do speak, whether you're showing up live, whether you are going to virtual summits, whether you're going to in-person events, whether you're doing corporate trainings, we should be looking as that as an opportunity for us to continue to grow, to get the feedback that we need so that we can get closer to the revenue goals that we want to achieve. Another important thing that I really, really want to emphasize to each of you is that when it comes to speaking, we have to really view it as a form of diversification. A lot of speakers, whether they be intermediate, whether they be beginner, they really hone in on speaking as just keynotes, right? Or maybe just a workshop. We can't limit ourselves to one format or platform when we're thinking about monetizing speaking. We have to be willing to experiment, see what resonates with our audiences, and pivot where necessary. We have to be open to the feedback. Another thing that I really want to bring out to each of you, and this is the final point, is that when we're out there speaking, it's important to know that if we're not generating revenue, we have to really look at the opportunity as ways we can position our expertise and increase our market value if we aren't generating revenue. We could be using things right now as we're utilizing our voice and sharing our message to refine our approach, to build credibility, and to even market ourselves. Remember, speaking is a marketing tool. So as you grow, one of the things that I really want you to always keep in mind, and as we're focusing on changing people's lives, as we're focusing on the impact that we're delivering, to set realistic expectations for yourself. So many people that are utilizing speaking, who have gone through different programs, who have shown up and done different things, they have unrealistic expectations. So I really want you to be focused on the small victories along the way. Some people have gone through different programs, they have experienced different things, and they're like, well, I'm just not cut out for it, or the program didn't work. You have to remember that when it comes to speaking, it is a marathon, and we want to look for those small victories. And we want to be extremely intentional with every opportunity that we get. If we get those opportunities and we're just waiting on the sidelines for something to show up or for our next one, it's not going to happen like that. It never will. And I want you to remember that even the most successful speakers have faced rejection. They have faced periods of no income in their speaking journey. It is a part of the journey. It's what happens, right? Now, if revenue is a primary concern for you, I need you to really take some time to look at the current strategies that you're utilizing. I want you to seek mentorship. I want you to look at your marketing strategy. I want you to evolve your content. I want you to go out there and pitch yourself every single day and understand that your speaking isn't failing if you aren't generating revenue. It could just be that you need to make some tweaks and changes with your actual strategy. So it's time for you to reassess. It's time for you to re-strategize. It's time for you to get honest about some of the ways in which you're utilizing it. And perhaps you can pour a little bit of gasoline on one or two strategies and look at the data and see if this is something that's valuable for you in your industry. I want to invite all of you, if you found value in the information that I'm sharing with you today, to really dive deeper into mastering your speaking. Understand that there is a craft that has to be gained with the art of speaking, with the art of teaching, with the art of being able to reach the hearts of your audience. But the other side of that is we have to be masterful at our business strategy. And it's hard when you want to make an impact, right? And you forget that these little small things that we often don't consider victories could be used to leverage your speaking into bigger stages and actually build more revenue. So I want to invite each of you to the free virtual summit that I'm hosting next Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023. We're going to spend 5 hours talking about reaching your goals, making sure we're positioning yourself for the audiences that you serve, the topic that you have. We're going to talk about negotiating, right? We're also going to talk about the pitching process and the different ways that you can pitch. And I'm offering this summit for the first time ever, and it's completely free. And I want you to understand, just like I walked you through some of the critical ways in which you need to make shifts right now, we will be working. There will be a workbook that's a part of this event, and we're going to tackle each of the elements that we state on our website for you to determine where are the gaps currently in your own business or in your strategy when it comes to speaking. So if you're interested in coming, if you're watching me on Instagram, hey friends, if you are watching me on my Facebook page, my business Facebook page, you can drop the word summit and you will be automatically registered. If you are watching this on my personal Facebook page or on LinkedIn or YouTube, please go to the caption and click the link. You'll be able to register. It's completely free. If you are not able to make it live, know that you have the opportunity to purchase the ticket for the replay. Otherwise, it's completely free. And of course, my suggestion is to show up, take the time, and invest the time in yourself so that we are able to see where are the actual gaps and where are some of the tweaks that we can make along the way for your strategy so that you're leveraging speaking. Because I believe the more diverse thoughts that are and minds that are on the stages, the better the world would be if we're all of us get a chance to actually share our story. All right, y'all. I see there is some comments in here, so you should, if you don't get an automatic DM from me, you can DM me the word summit and then I will sign you up. All right, y'all. I can't wait to see each of you next week. We are 6 days away. I'll be back live again tomorrow. Bye.